What up, what up, what up? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing back at you with another one, man. I'm here to do a let's talk about this, man. The use of the term hype job. I feel like it's thrown around a lot. I do. I really feel like it's thrown around a lot. But I want to talk about about the term, and I want to talk a little bit about Blair the Flair. Was Blair the Flair a hype job? Well, absolutely. But because he was a hype job doesn't mean that just everybody on this picture is a hype job. Everybody that you see on this picture, people are, I hear their names being associated with the term hype job. And I just want to break it down a little bit. Let's get into the whole term of hype job. Well, what is a hype job? For y'all that don't know, a hype job is basically a boxer that has a lot of hype around them, but when it's their time to step up, they do absolutely nothing, right? So what we found out last night, that Blair Cobbs was a hype job, absolutely. There was a lot of stir around his name, calling out the likes of Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., Virgil Ortiz, Jerron Ennis, saying that they have not done anything, they have not fought anybody, building a lot of hype around himself, mainly in the week, the build up to his fight, the week of his fight, So I do feel like, yes, absolutely, it was a lot of hype around him, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think people really believed in the hype around Blair Cobbs. I don't think anybody looked at him as an unbeatable guy. Not saying that you have to look unbeatable to be a hype job, but I'm just saying I don't think anybody really believed into the hype job of Blair Cobbs. So let's talk about it, man. Now, I would like to start off let's start off at the top with my guy Devin Haney. A lot of people use the term pillow fisted. I don't even understand how. I don't understand how George. And excuse the background, man. That's the wind. But I don't understand how George Kambosos could even call Devin Haney a pillow fisted fighter when he actually has a higher knockout ratio than George Kambosos. But is Devin Haney a hype job? Is he a hype job? Absolutely not. He proved himself. He stepped up. The Gamboa fight, okay, I don't think anybody wants to give him credit for the Gamboa fight, but he stepped up, fought Jorge Linares. That was a good test, okay? People criticize him for getting hurt in that fight. Now, the ones that criticize him for getting hurt, I would love for y'all to do me a favor. Go research any boxer in the history of boxing and name one fighter that has never been hurt in the ring. Okay, name one, just one that's never been hurt. Just one. I just want one that's never been hurt in the ring, okay? It happens. Does that mean he has a shaky chin? No. Did he get dropped? No. Okay. Lomachenko got dropped by Jorge Linares. Okay, but Devin Haney didn't get dropped. He got buzzed. It happens, bro. But he finished the fight. Now, is he the hardest puncher? No. He's definitely a very skillful fighter. Then moved on to fight Jojo Diaz, a very good fighter who beat Tevin Farmer. So is Devin Haney a hype job? No, because Devin Haney has proven himself. Okay, let's move over to the left. We have Ryan Garcia. Now, here's the thing about the term hype job. A lot of people use the term so loosely that they don't even give a fighter a chance to prove whether they're a hype job or not. Now, is Ryan Garcia a proven fighter? Absolutely not. But is he a hype job? Well, we don't know yet until he steps up and fights a proven guy. Whereas, like I said, you can even in a loss, all right? Let's say you step up, like let's say, I'll give you a good example. Isaac Cruz and Tank Davis, right? Let's say you step up the way Isaac Cruz did and put up the performance that Isaac Cruz did against Tank Davis. Would that make you a hype job then? No, because you proved that you belong at that top level, all right? So Is Ryan Garcia, is it fair to call him a hype job yet? No, I don't think that he's a hype job until he steps up. This dude might very much so step up right and knock the shit out of Tank Davis. Now, I don't believe he'll do that. I think Tank Davis knocks the shit out of Ryan Garcia. But we owe it to Ryan Garcia to at least allow himself to prove that to us, okay? So, I don't think that Ryan Garcia is a hype job yet, okay? But let's see how he does when he steps up in competition, all right? Next up, we have Virgil Ortiz. Is Virgil Ortiz a hype job? No, I don't think so. I think Virgil Ortiz is a good fighter. I think he's the real deal. I don't think that he beats the top guys like Errol Spence, but he or definitely not Terrence Crawford, but he definitely proved that he's worthy of being the praise that he's getting. I mean, I thought him and Maurice Hooker made for a very good fight. He stopped Maurice Hooker. I don't think that he's a hype job. I don't think that he's a hype job. I think he proved himself with the Maurice Hooker fight that he definitely deserves to be at the top. All right. Next we have Rolly Romero. Now this is a tricky one. Rolly Romero, is Rolly Romero a hype job? That's tricky because I don't necessarily think anybody too much believes in a hype that's built around Rolly Romero. But you gotta love the dude's confidence. Now, Rolly has a chance to prove if he's a hype job or not come May, all right? Come what, May 28th, again his fight against Tank Davis. He has a chance to prove that he's not a hype job. Now, if he goes into the Tank Davis fight and gets punished, would we consider him a hype job? Well, absolutely. He was definitely promoted heavily. He's definitely been talking and making a lot of noise. Would he be proven a hype job? If he goes in there and just gets absolutely watched by Tank Davis? Absolutely. I definitely could say that Rolly was a hype job then. Next we have David Benavidez. Is David Benavidez a hype job? Well, I think it's too soon to say. I personally don't think David Benavidez will. I think he's the good. I don't think he's a hype job, okay? But it's too soon to say because the biggest name on David Benavidez's resume is Anthony Durrell, and Anthony Durrell, we can all say he's pretty much past his prime, okay? But David Benavidez hasn't been given a chance to prove whether he's a hype job or not. I personally, like I said, I don't think David Benavidez is a hype job. I think he's the goods. I 100% think that David Benavidez is the goods. And his fight against David Lemieux is definitely a step in the right direction. I think that's a good name to have on his resume. But should he get David Lemieux? Should he get through David Lemieux? Which I think we believe he'll get through David Lemieux. We definitely want to see him tested. But like I said, it's too soon to say whether he's a hype job or not. But I definitely think that David Benavidez is the goods. I do. Next up, we have Jamal Charlo. Now this is definitely one that I wanted to touch on. Is Jamal Charlo a hype job? Absolutely not. Okay, people mix up talent with popularity, right? If you're not popular, then you're not talented. That's the problem with a lot of boxing fans nowadays, and it's very irritating, might I say. Jamal Charlo has been in there with some very good fighters. All right, Jamal Charlo. Now he at 154. The best names on his resume, safe to say, Julian J. Rock Williams, who then became a unified champion at 154, and Austin Trout. Okay, both guys are very tested guys and good opponents that Jamal Charlo's beaten. All right, then at 160, has he done much? No, he hasn't done much, but he still beat some very good guys like Sergey Derevyanchenko, who many people thought beat Triple G. All right, many people thought Sergey Derevyanchenko was robbed that night that he fought Triple G, and Jamal Charlo looked very good against him. Now, he didn't look as good as he did with Derevyanchenko against Montiel. No, he didn't. But at the same time, he still proved that he's a very, very formidable fighter. Very good fighter. So is Jamal Charlo a hype job? Nah, I don't think he's a hype job. I think he proved himself more so at 154 than 160, but he still stepped in there with the top guys at his division, at least at 154, and proved that he deserves to be at the top. Now, we just want to see Jamal Charlo fight better competition at 160, like a Jaime Munguia, though that wasn't his fault, like a Demetrius Andrade. That fight is long overdue. That's a fight that we deserve. That's a fight that we want. I definitely would love to see Jamal Charlo fight Demetrius Andrade. But prove himself more. Don't just wait on Canelo. I know Triple G, at one point they were trying to get a fight with Triple G, but his team turned it down. Triple G's team turned it down. So I can't hold that against Jamal Charlo, but we want to see him prove himself more. Now, next up, let's go up a notch. I want to go to Triple G. Now, I don't like Triple G. I have a video coming now about all the contradictions that are made by Triple G and his teams. I don't like Triple G because I felt like Triple G was given too much credit before he deserved it, and it was almost like the like HBO and ESPN, they were just fishing for Triple G to be this big guy when we had so many great fighters that were from America. I thought Triple G was given too much credit before he deserved it. But is Triple G a hype job? No, absolutely not. Okay, Triple G proved himself. He proved himself against Danny Jacobs. That was a good opponent. I think that's the best opponent that he's beaten on paper. I thought that he won the Canelo fight, the first one, but he still proved that he belongs at the top. All right, so I put Triple G's name there because a lot of us were upset with Triple G because he was getting too much praise when you have all these other fighters from America like Andre Ward and such and so on that deserve credit that was not given credit that they deserve. Or how Triple G was considered the boogeyman, but you had guys like Rigondeaux. Though they have different styles, people didn't want to fight Rigondeaux, and everybody gave it a sweep under the rug. But with Triple G, it was like, no, y'all must fight him. No, like even though if you consider yourself the best, I feel like that should go with anybody. You should be able to adapt to any style that's in front of you. And so I just feel like Triple G was getting a lot of clout that before he deserved it. But Triple G is definitely not a hype job at all. Next up, we have Jaime Munguia. Now, Jaime Munguia is another fighter that hasn't proven much. I think the biggest name on Jaime Munguia's resume would be Gabe Rosado, maybe Saddam Ali. Seeing how Saddam Ali was coming off the Miguel Cotto fight, but we all know that was a Miguel Cotto past his prime, and Saddam Ali moved up in weight. I don't know. I'd probably say Gabe Rosado, right? Gabe Rosado, who's a tough veteran. But Jaime Munguia hasn't proved himself yet. He's 39-0 with 30 knockouts. I think we all are all ready for Jaime Munguia to prove himself. Okay? Is it fair to call him a hype job yet? No, it's not fair because we don't know how good Jaime Munguia is simply because he hasn't proven himself yet. Okay? Now, should Jaime Munguia step up, right? He could step up if De La Hoya would believe in him. Okay? Because De La Hoya is the reason why his fight with Jamal Charlo didn't go down. If De La Hoya would believe in him, he could step up. What if he fights Jamal Charlo and just beats the shit out of Jamal Charlo? We can't call that man a hype job then. If we gave him the title hype job right now, he steps up and he fights Jamal Charlo or the winner of Triple G versus Murata and just annihilates them. It's not fair to call him a hype job. All right? So it's too soon yet. It's too soon to give him that title. So let's not call him a hype job yet. He's not a hype job, but he's not proven at all, okay? We got to see what he's like. Like I said, it's not, if he steps up and just gets annihilated or he gets the shit beat out of him, then okay, we can possibly look at we can call him a hype job then. But right now, I think it's too soon to say. He still has to prove himself, okay? Next up, Edgar Belanger. Now, based off of his fight last night, I think a lot of people like to go ahead and just call him a hype job or whatnot. I mean, does he have things that he needs to improve on? Obviously he does, right? Okay, I didn't like how he didn't double up on his jab to close the distance. He followed Steve Rose around instead of cutting off the ring. He's obviously slow on his feet. But does that mean he's a hype job? Absolutely not, because still with the attributes that he has, he can still become a very terrific fighter. Canelo is not the best on, he doesn't have the best foot speed. He's not quick on his speed or whatnot. Now, granted, I think that Canelo has better footwork than Edgar Belanger, but if you compare Canelo at 20 or at whatever age that Edgar Belanger is now, I mean, it's safe to say that Canelo improved since then. So I don't necessarily think that it's fair to call Edgar Belanger a hype job. Not yet. He still has stuff that he has to work on. He's still developing. Let's see him improve on his attributes and become a world champion before we say that he's just a hype job. I don't think that it's fair to give him that criticism yet. He still has stuff that he needs to work on, and we haven't seen the best of Edgar Belanger. He's still young. He's still a contender. He's not a world champion, so I think that it's fair. Let's give him a chance at least. And last but not least, we got the one, the only Jaron Boots Ennis himself. Now, I definitely don't think that Boots Ennis is. I don't think he is a hype job at all, man. He's definitely been built the right way, especially coming up here as lately. Okay, he beat Sergey Lipinets. All right, very good fighter, right? He stopped him. I want to almost say he was the only person to stop Sergey Lipinets. I think he only lost to Mikey Garcia. Okay, he's fighting Castillo Clayton coming up May 14th on the undercard of Jamal Charlo versus Brian Castano 2. Okay, that's a very, very good fight, bro. Very good fight. A lot of people thought Castillo Clayton beat Sergey Lipinets and he ended up getting a draw. Okay, I think that Jaron Ennis is definitely the good. I definitely don't see him being a hype job. Okay, but is he proven all the way at the welterweight division? No. I think maybe next up after this, I would love to see him get a fight against Keith Thurman, maybe a Kell Brook. I definitely would love Virgil Ortiz, but I know De La Hoya is not going to go that route. Maybe the loser of Spence versus Ugas. Should it be Ugas? I would love to see him fight a Ugas. It's many fighters that we would love. I would love to see Jaron Boots Ennis in to help maybe sell himself to others. I don't think that he's a hype job at all. So overall, man, a lot of these guys are proven. A lot of y'all are just giving them the term hype job. I think that people are using the term hype job too freely and not giving the people a chance to even show if they're hype jobs or not. Yes, Ryan Garcia is one who I do believe will become a hype job. I do believe that. I wanted to be nice about him, but I'm just gonna be honest, man. I do believe that Ryan Garcia would be a hype job. I don't think Ryan Garcia has the goods to beat these guys that are at the top of his division at 135. I think I can name guys at 130 that I know that would beat him, But we still have to owe it. We still owe it to them to prove it to us whether they're gonna be a hype job or not, bro. Like I said, Ryan Garcia, he does have speed and he does have power. He can go in there and knock some of these top guys out and shit, then I'll be eating my own words, So I think that we owe it to them to allow them to prove themselves to us to see whether they're hype jobs or not. But I do believe that the word hype job, the term hype job, is overly used, and we're not allowing anybody to actually show whether they're hype jobs or not. Blair Cobbs showed that he's a hype job, okay? So it's safe to call him a hype job. We can give him that title. He earned it. He did a good job earning it last night against his opponent. I can't even remember his opponent's name, okay? But he did a good job. He earned it. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. But hey, what do I know?